me, what are you listening to? What are you hearing? What are you eating? What are you paying attention to? I mean, it's so important. It affects your seeing. It affects your perspective. You will reap of what you listen to and what you hear. I'm really careful. I don't know about you guys. I'm really careful to discern my season and how God is feeding me in that season. And I eat accordingly. It's wisdom. What is he saying to you in this season? Well, how is he feeding you? Personally, I think that the church is in desperate need to eat of the goodness of God. There's such an orphan spirit in the church. And there's so many aspects to God. There's so many aspects to his nature. But if we don't know his good, if we don't have a foundation of his goodness, we'll get lost in the rest. So if you don't know he's good, just eat that. Start there. Listen to teachings on the goodness of God. Get around people who know the goodness of God. Meditate on the goodness of God. It's so funny. I talk to people sometimes who are, it's not on purpose, but it's almost like they're scared to go into the goodness of God. Like they're afraid they're going to tip over on the wrong side. I'm telling you, it's very common. Because God's to be feared. So if I go over into the goodness of God, I won't fear God anymore. Are you kidding? The fear of God comes out of the goodness of God. The fear of the Lord is birthed out of the love of God, not out of a religious spirit. Everything is birthed out of the love of God. If it's true, you can have a religious spirit and try to be good and fear God, but it's not the fruitful kind of fear of God. It's this stuff that breeds self-righteousness and pride. If you're in good behavior, then you're okay with God. If you're not in good behavior, then you're not good with God. It's not the way he is. So I encourage you, if you don't know he's good, start there and stay there until you get it. Stay there until you get a breakthrough. Stay there until you get happy. Jesus said, I came to give you life, abundant life. He said, in me is righteousness, peace, and joy. Your inheritance is righteousness, peace, joy. They're progressive, you know. Just like faith in the knowledge of God. To whatever degree you're in his righteousness or you know you're in his righteousness is to the degree you have peace. That level of peace is to the degree that you have that level of joy. So as you go deeper in revelation of his righteousness and how clean you are, you move into greater peace, hence greater joy. So you have to know you're clean. You have to know he's pleased with you. You have to know that he's good. You have to know what happened at the cross. And let me tell you, the thing at the cross was love. The greatest expression of love ever made, ever will be made, the greatest declaration of love ever was the cross. You don't know love? Gaze at the cross. God so loved the world that he gave his son. God so loved, just stay there till you get it. God so loved the world. God, you love. You so love, you gave your son. Love is the cross. It's an expression of love. God so loved, he expressed his love by giving. He expressed his love. The cross is an outworking of his love. He so loved that he gave his son. Expression of his love. The greatest expression of his love. The Father did it. He gave. Jesus did it. He said, greater love has no man than this, than to lay down his life for his friends. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down your life. Jesus laying down his life was an expression of love. You laying down your life shouldn't be from a place of obedience, not in itself. We lay down our lives because of love. Jesus obeyed the Father. He did obey the Father because he loves. His obedience wasn't apart from love. He obeyed because he loved. Obedience is easy when you love. Do you know it's more about he cares? I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I just about this, that for me, the most important thing is my relationship with Jesus. The most important thing in my life is that relationship. Cultivating a healthy relationship. Having a healthy relationship with Jesus. So how do I guard that relationship? How do I cultivate that relationship? How do I protect that relationship? How do I honor that relationship? How do you do it in the natural with people? And you don't do things that hurt them when you love people, right? Because you value them. You care about their hearts. You value the relationship. So our obedience should come from a place of love and valuing a relationship, not because of law or rules. Don't we do that in the natural with relationships? Or we should. It's the way we cultivate healthy relationships. And that's what Jesus was saying. He said, if you're my friends, you'll obey me. He wasn't saying, obey me, you must obey me, you must obey me. That's not his heart. He's not looking for servants. And in that same chapter, he's saying, I no longer call you servants, I call you friends. He was saying this is what friendship looks like. He was giving us a definition of love. He's saying this is what love looks like. He's not demanding obedience. He's saying obedience is the fruit of love. We have wrong mindsets about that. We've slaved because we have orphan mentalities. If you love me, you'll walk this way. If you love me, you'll obey this word, because this word is what love looks like. So we guard the relationship, we cultivate the relationship, we protect the relationship, so we obey the word, because it's wisdom. Because he said this is what love looks like. You guys follow me? So don't seek, the religious spirits are screaming right now. Don't seek to obey. You don't have to. Seek to love him and you'll obey him. You really will. Don't let that scare you. The girl's saying, don't obey. Get out of the room. If you love him, you'll obey him. And that's what he said, right? He said that. If you love me, you'll obey me. His heart is for relationship. Again, I know I'm harping on it, but So think about it in terms of growing and cultivating a healthy relationship with someone. What benefits the relationship? Honor the relationship more than yourself. Isn't that what love does? Isn't that what a love relationship looks like? I don't know. I'm not married. I've never been married. I never have been married. I'm being funny. But, true love, Jesus said, lay down your life. Don't consider yourself. Esteem others more highly than yourself. So in a relationship, you prefer the other person. You guard the other person's heart. You protect the relationship. Do it with Jesus. Get your mind off of you. Get your mind off of what can you give me? What can you give me? What can you give me? What are you not doing, Jesus? That's a recipe for destruction in a relationship. Right? In the natural. What about me? What are you not giving me? What are you going to do for me? What about his heart? What does he feel? What does he think? What does he want? That's a healthy relationship. And he will pour back into you more than you can handle. It's what love looks like. Maybe we should pray. I just encourage you right now, because some of you are just being off the charts convicted right now. He loves you. And he gave his life for you. And we're so stuck on ourselves. We're so stuck on what we can get. And he said, this is what love looks like.